Alright folks, join me for a very quick video. We're going to go through 10 New Year's resolutions that everybody should make. We got 2024 coming up, and we are going to give you guys some tips on some New Year's resolutions, and I have 10 of them right here. So let's get started. And you ever notice there's certain things that people do that really aggravate you? So we are coming up with these New Year's resolutions, which are items that aggravate people like you and I. It'd be good not to do these things anymore. So let's start off with number 1. No more coexist stickers. No more of those lame coexist stickers on your vehicles. You ever notice, like, I talk to people that have the coexist stickers, they're never Christians. They tend to be in witchcraft or paganism. Hold on, I'm zipping up the pocket here so my cell phone doesn't drop out. So that's one thing we could do. Get rid of those stupid coexist bumper stickers. It's a very depressing thing when you think about it. Let's just all coexist. Forget about finding out what objective truth is, or who's wrong or who's right. Let's just say que sera, que sera, que sera, sera, and let everybody just live their lives. You know, it's such a lame thing. You know, witchcraft, Wicca, paganism, atheism, Christianity, Islam, they all, Judaism or Judaism, they all contradict each other. So if you know anything about philosophy, they all can't be right if they all contradict each other. Yeah, one of them could be correct, but they all cannot be correct. I'm looking at that radar thing over there behind us, and it's off. Was wondering why the radar detector wasn't going off. Okay, that's New Year's resolution number 1. Enough of the lame coexist bumper stickers. Oh, they're horrible. Okay, another one, and I don't mean to sound brash or cruel, but another one is when people put stickers on their car and it says, "In memory of Pancho." I guess their Uncle Pancho passed away, and they put this thing in memory of Carlos or Pancho, I don't know. And I don't get what's in memory of Pancho or Carlos. The sticker, the back window, or the Chevrolet Impala? I don't know. I don't get that. So let's not do the in memory of Pancho or Carlos on the back of the windows anymore. I don't get that. Not to be insensitive to Pancho and Carlos passing away, but that's a good New Year's resolution that people should pass and accept. Now, enough of the atheism. Atheism was like an 80s thing. You can actually go back in history and go to the 80s, and what is this dog loose right here? Doesn't want the owner to get it. And I just noticed there's a motorcycle behind me, so let's go this way. The smartwatch is always telling me to drink water. If I drank water every time the smartwatch told me, oh my gosh, I'd be going to the restroom like all the time. So enough with 80s. Nobody knows. No one No, I don't know any atheists that aren't kids. Like, they're all kids on YouTube. Atheism went out with the 80s and it's trying to have a comeback. Nobody believes that DNA, which is a language, is a lucky accident. No one believes that. Nobody believes that the complexity of the cell is the result of a Big Bang explosion that created design and language and even code. I mean, please. Enough of the atheists that say God doesn't exist and we hate him. Enough of this. Make a New Year's resolution not to be a snot-nosed little kid atheist. Okay. What's the next one? Oh, this one that drives me crazy. Oh, see you, brother. Motorcycle guy here. I'm leaving right there. People that walk around on their cell phones with the speaker on. And some of the language, oh my goodness. You want to wash their mouth out with soap. That they're saying the N-word, the F-word. No one wants to hear your gangsta conversation. Fool. I had to say that. No one wants to hear it. Did I tell you the one time I was in California and I was driving and there was a guy on the corner doing these gang signs to his friend across the street. So I looked at the guy, I'm like, I could take him. So I went up to him and I said, shook him by his jacket, quit doing the gang signs. We don't need that crap around here. And he goes, I'm deaf, you stupid idiot. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. So make sure they're not deaf if they're doing the gang sign. So, oh, okay. So that's another thing, is enough with talking on the cell phone with the speaker. Here's another one. No selfies. Enough with the selfies. Oh, I think this... I'm like, I hope this person wasn't thinking I was making signs to him. We got a storm coming in, but we've got the radar detector on. Let's take this corner. So enough with the selfies. You know how they get it and they hold it up and they take it. There's comedians that they call it taking a lonely. You don't have one friend that can take a picture of you? So whenever I see someone doing a selfie, I think of what Sebastian Maniscalco said, the comedian. They're taking a lonely. Please, no more selfies. I was at Benihana, you know, where they cook in front of you, and they chop up the stuff, and they make the onion volcano. They make the fried rice, which, by the way, get the fried rice, dip it in the mustard sauce. You'll thank me for it. And this lady was with her boyfriend or husband across from us, and she was filming on her iPhone with the light on. And it was, I couldn't see, like, the rest of the night. I just saw that bright black dot, you know, when it burns into your retina. No more taking lonelies. All right, hold on. Let's adjust this here. Got to get the next ones. Oh, yes. This next one. Enough of these cheesy thumbnails on YouTube where the guy, the Atheist Experience Show, you know, that gay and lame show called the Atheist Experience Show. They are the kings of the lame thumbnails. Like, they'll have their head in their hands, like burying their head in their hands, and they'll be mocking someone that believes in God. They'll be doing like a face palm, and they are the kings of these cheesy, corny thumbnails. Another thing, too, I'm going to give you some bonus ones. The reaction videos where people are, like it says, person listens to Johnny Cash, A Boy Named Sue. for the first time. And it shows them in the thumbnail with their eyes all bulged out. And like they're just surprised to hear it. I'm going to give you guys a little gift here. I think I memorized the whole song, A Boy Named Sue. Let's see if I can do it, okay? Well, my daddy left home when I was 3, and he didn't care much for Ma and me. Or he didn't leave much for Ma and me, just this old guitar and an empty bottle of booze. Now, I don't blame him because when he run and hid, but the meanest thing that he ever did was before he left, he went and named me Sue. Well, he must have thought that it was quite a joke, and it got a lot of laughs from lots of folks. I seemed I had to fight my whole life through. Some gal would giggle and I'd get red, and some guy'd laugh and I'd bust his head, and I'd tell you, life ain't easy for a boy named Sue. I grew up hard and I grew up mean. My wits got hard and my fists got something like that, keen. I roamed to town to hide my shame. But I made me a vow to the moon and stars that I'd search the honky-tonkin' bars and kill that man that gave me that awful name. Well, it was Gatlinburg in mid-July, and I just got in and my throat was dry, so I thought I'd stop and have myself a brew. On an old saloon on a street of mud, there at the table, dealing stud, sat the dirty mangy dog that named me Sue. Well, I knew that face was my own sweet dad from a torn up picture that my mama had, and I knew that scar on his cheek had his evil eye. Well, he was big and bent and gray and old, and I looked at him and my blood ran cold, and I said, "My name is Sue. How do you do? Now you're gonna die." That's what I told him. Well, I hit him hard right between the eyes, and he went down, but to my surprise, he come up with a knife and cut off a piece of my ear. Don't worry, we're gonna get back to the New Year's resolutions. I heard him, well, I busted a chair right across his teeth. We crashed through the wall right into the street, kicking and gouging in the mud and the blood and the beer. Well, I'll tell you, I fought tough for men, but I really can't remember when. He kicked like a mule and it bit like a crocodile. I heard him laugh and then I heard him cuss, and he went for his gun, and I drew mine first, and he sat there looking at me, and I saw him smile. And he said, "Son, this world is rough, and if a man's got to make it, he's got to be tough." So I knew I wouldn't be there to help you along. So I give you that name and I say goodbye. I knew you'd have to get tough or die, and it's that name that helped to make you strong. Now, you just put up one hell of a fight, and I know you hate me and you got the right to kill me now, and I wouldn't blame you if you do. But you ought to thank me before I die for the gravel in your gut and the spit in your eye, because I'm the boop that named you Sue. What could I do? I got all choked up and I threw down my gun. I called him a pa and he called me a son, and I come away with a different point of view. And I think about him now and then, every time I try and every time I win. And if I ever have a son, I think I'm gonna name him Bill or George, anything but Sue. I still hate that name. All right, back to the okay, we got the no cheesy. Back to the New Year's resolutions. I have a guy kind of catching up behind me the whole time here, so I kind of had to. Oh, quit voting Democrat. This is a great New Year's resolution. We should not have people that are insane running our country. Damn it. Why the hell would people vote for Joe Biden? What were you people thinking? Seriously, when Everything you and I learned in science, that a boy is a boy and a girl is a girl. Even Johnny Cash's song, A Boy Named Sue. You see how it was wrong? Johnny Cash, if he wrote that song today, the trans community would crucify him. All for Johnny Cash being, listen to me, normal. Quit, for God's sakes, quit voting Democrat. What's wrong with you people? Even the gay and lame Atheist Experience Show, if you're a guy and you call into the Atheist Experience Show, but you say you're a woman, they'll put it on the screen. It'll say she. It'll say Brian, she. This is stupid. But hey, Atheist Experience Show, don't let science and biology get in the way of your atheism madness. Don't let it get in the way. All right, let's see what the next one is. Oh, yes. Quit saying Trump wasn't a good president. Everyone knows Trump was one of the best presidents in the world, especially if you're, wait for it, a true Christian. Only Trump recognized that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. Only Trump got a wooden stake and drove it through the heart of that wickedness. Roe versus Wade. Only Trump did that, folks. Yeah, we've got to quit saying Trump wasn't a good president. I mean, seriously, everyone knows he was. Have the courage of your convictions to admit that Trump was an excellent president, and let's hope that he's president again in 2024. I mean, let's be honest. If Joe Biden was a dog, if Joe Biden was your dog, you would put him to sleep. I mean, it's this trotting Joe Biden out over and over. This is elder abuse, people. Elder abuse. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, yes. Quit saying, especially here on YouTube with all the perverts, another good New Year's resolution is quit saying that you can be whatever gender you want. Gender doesn't matter. It's whatever you believe in your head. But then you chop off your organs to pretend, let's say you're a guy, you chop off your organs to pretend you're a woman. Nobody's buying it. Your cells and DNA give it away that you're a dude. Nobody is buying it. If it didn't matter, if what sex you were born with at birth doesn't matter, then why are you chopping off your organs and cutting your breast off, ladies, to be if you want to pretend you're a man? Huh? Answer that. Why are you chopping it off? It's horrible. Let's pray that the trans movement, when you hear trans, what it really is, it's a pervert. It's a person that's a pervert going against God's will, and he wants to change the true nature of God's will. Now, so enough with the trans thing. I never thought, I mean, we're starting to sound like our parents, aren't we? You know how they would say, I never thought I'd see the day when pot smoking was legal. Well, I never thought I'd see the day where a man can get in a little one-piece bathing suit. It's just madness. And say that he's a woman. Look at these cows chilling right here. Speaking of chilling, it is getting really cold. And compete with women and kick their butts. Women, listen, you women that are, you know, doing this, quit competing with quit playing with the men and competing with them. Just sit down. When the dude comes out, say, this isn't right, and I'm not competing. This is what you need to do. Why are you it's not your fault, like, don't get me wrong, but why do you keep competing with them? Enough of that. All right, now the next one, I gotta stop here at this little cafe restaurant. I'm gonna leave you in suspense. The next one's so important not to do. There's always a bump right there. That if you do this next one, your kids could turn out to be atheist. You don't want to do the next one. I'm going to spend some time on the next one. It has to do with something you do. I'm going to give you a hint, but I'm going to a motorcycle cafe right here. Going to have myself a brew of Coca-Cola. And maybe some chicken nuggets. And then we're going to get back on. And we're going to ride. And I'm going to tell you about the most dangerous thing that you don't want to do. You want to change this. You don't want to do this. Oh, nice and warm. All right. That was a very, very little break. Okay. This next one, especially if you have kids, especially if you're a parent, do not, this should be your New Year's resolution, do not tell your kids there's a Santa Claus. And I want to do this before Christmas comes. Hopefully some of you didn't do this. It's not a cute, sweet thing to do. Please do not ever tell your kids there's a Santa Claus. There is a direct correlation. This is going to sound funny and there's some humor to it, but it's serious too. There's a direct correlation between Santa Claus and people embracing atheism. I kid you not. Most of the people I talk to that I've unbrainwashed out of atheism, and I'm going to tell you how I did that, they said that they found out when they were a kid there was no Santa Claus, and it basically traumatized them. It's very embarrassing for them to tell you this, but it traumatized them, where they were scared to believe in God. They were like, I don't want to get let down again, and they were so traumatized, because when you're a kid and you're not learning about God or Christianity, Jesus Christ, Scripture, how Scripture was put together, holy men of God had written Scripture, how it's so cohesive, it doesn't contradict itself. When you show that science lines up with the Bible, even though the Bible's not a science book, but just to give you an example, we'll get back to this, it's called Santa syndrome. Do not tell your kids that there's a Santa. It is a disease. They could become atheist. Type in Santa syndrome and you'll see all these videos that I've documented of atheists obsessing about Santa and how they became an atheist after they found out there was no Santa, which has nothing to do with God. But it's bizarre, people. But here's how I want to tell you, here's how atheists get involved, how kids get involved with atheism after they find out there's no Santa. Like, you'll be talking to an atheist, right? Let's say they're like 17 years old, and you'll be talking about God and spiritual matters, and all of a sudden they'll say, well, I bet you believe in Santa, and you're like, whoa, where did that come from? I know where it came from. It is the disease called Santa syndrome. Now, very humbly speaking, I gotta walk on eggshells when I say this because it comes off as arrogant. Please do not confuse, I should say, I almost said underestimate. Do not confuse my supreme confidence in God, Jesus Christ, the Bible, as arrogance, okay? But I single-handedly destroyed the Atheist Experience Show with one question. And it's that time again, atheist. You notice Matt Dillahunty is no longer on the Atheist Experience Show. I like to feel somewhat responsible that this question, because there's a direct correlation between when the show, I'm going to put the links right below here, and you'll see proof of what I'm saying. I challenged the show, the entire cast of the Atheist Experience Show, to answer one simple question. And here's the question: what proof and evidence can you provide that would finally at last prove that atheism is accurate and correct? And no atheist was able to do it, folks. None of them. Even on the Atheist Experience Show, there's a clip where they're obsessing about Santa Claus. The entire cast of the Atheist Experience Show has the disease called Santa Syndrome. The entire cast. So what I would like you to do is, if you know how to copy and paste this video, just click share below this video. And then it'll say copy. Just copy it to your clipboard and paste this video in as many atheist videos as you can see. And just paste this video and say, can you do a video response to this? Do a video response to this. And then my video will be pasted there, right? I think this is a slow scooter or something we're coming up to right here on the right. Let's see. Yeah. And let's see if any atheist, I'm going to go through a list of atheists that failed this question. You may know them here on YouTube. Any atheist that failed what I call the Shock of God challenge. If the question's easy, what proof and evidence do you have that would prove that atheism is accurate and correct? See, they don't have any. There's no scientific evidence that proves it. There's no philosophical evidence that proves it. There's no historical evidence that proves it. I'm trying to say proves it and keep making it high-pitched like that. There's no common sense argument that proves it. There's nothing that proves it. I'll make a bet with the atheists. If you can prove that atheism is accurate and correct, I will sing the song that I hate singing. And I'll sing the whole song on my motorcycle. I'll sing the Village People's In the Navy. You know, in the Navy, you can sail the 7 seas in the Navy. I will sing the whole song of the Village People in the Navy if any atheist can provide proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct. And we got a motorcycle right on my rear tire. But you know what, folks? You're not going to be hearing me sing that song. That big, heavy, fat cruiser type Harley bike behind me cannot keep up. He'll be scraping pegs as I go through this. Now, I think this has a top speed of 160 when they put it on the dyno. Anyways, folks, God bless you guys. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Do not tell your kids about Santa Claus. It is a disease. This is why atheists obsess about Santa Claus. Because they're so traumatized that it affects their mind. It's a mental illness. Whenever you hear an atheist talk about Santa Claus, click share, send them this video, and say, you've got the disease. I have my radar detector here, But we had no police the whole time, so it was pretty much silent as a mouse. Anyways, God bless you guys. I love you so much. I think this is going to be like 17 years that no atheists have been able to conquer the Shock of God challenge. Oh yeah, I was going to go through a list of atheists that failed. Cosmic Skeptic could not provide proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct. The following list are people that could not provide proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct. Matt Dillahunty. He Dilla couldn't. Aaron Raw. He was Aaron Wrong. He couldn't provide proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct. Godless, I call him Gutless Engineer. Godless Engineer, small g. Could not do it. The number one most subscribed to atheist, you know, the one that put a banana up his butt? The Amazing Atheist, I call him, unfortunately, the amazingly hellbound atheist. He was not able to answer it, probably too busy with bananas. What other atheist? Oh, when Christopher Hitchens was alive, he couldn't do it. Richard Dawkins actually responded and he said, I'm not claiming God doesn't exist. I'm just saying I lack a belief in God. So Richard Dawkins is agnostic now. He says God can exist. Anyways, folks, can you answer the question if you're an atheist? What proof and evidence can you provide that would finally at last prove that atheism is accurate and correct? It's been over 15, 16 years. It's now going on 2024, atheist. I'm not going to be singing that Village People song. I guarantee you that. Happy New Year, you guys.